I wake before the sun, because sleep no longer comes easily to men like me. The armor beside me is old, not ceremonial, not polished. It has stopped blades and bullets before. Today, it will not stop what is coming. Below this hill, I hear them. Boots, commands, rifles being loaded with the calm confidence of an empire. They say we are already dead, that the age of the samurai ended years ago. But if this is the end, then I will meet it standing. I was born into a world where a man's worth was measured by loyalty, discipline, and restraint. From childhood, I learned to bow before my elders, to hold a blade without fear, and to accept death as a companion, not an enemy. The sword I carry was forged before my grandfather was born. It has a name. It has a memory longer than any government decree. Once we served daimyo. Once the shogun ruled in the emperor's name. Japan moved with the seasons then, not the sound of machines. The day they announced the ban, I did not believe it. A sword was not a weapon to us. It was proof that we existed. I remember standing inside my home, blade laid across my knees, wondering how something carried for centuries could suddenly be declared dangerous. I stopped wearing it outside, not because I agreed, but because the streets had changed. People stared. Some whispered. Some looked away as if I had already become something embarrassing. For the first time in my life, I hid my sword. And in doing so, I learned what it meant to be ashamed of survival. They called it restoration. They spoke of railways, factories, and foreign powers that would crush Japan if we did not change. They were not wrong, but they were not gentle. Our stipends were taken, our swords forbidden in public. Men trained for war were told to count coins and bow to clerks. I watched proud warriors shrink into shadows, not defeated, but forgotten. Many chose to leave that life behind. Some married. Some opened shops. Some told themselves this was wisdom, not surrender. I do not judge them. I envied them. There were nights I considered leaving Japan entirely. The world beyond our shores was loud, fast, and full of opportunity. But every time I imagined myself there, alive and safe, something inside me recoiled. To live without being remembered for anything felt worse than death. So when Saigō's name was spoken, I stopped asking what it would cost me. I only asked whether I could live with myself if I stayed silent. When Saigō Takamori called, I followed, not because I believed we would win, but because honor demanded witness. Saigō had helped build the new Japan, and that made his rebellion heavier than anger. He marched knowing we faced rifles with steel, cannon with courage. We walked north not toward victory, but toward meaning. The march stripped away illusions quickly. Men fell behind, supplies thinned. The sound of rifles followed us like thunder beyond the hills. Each village we passed reminded us how small we had become. We spoke less as the days passed, not because there was nothing to say, but because the truth no longer required words. Victory had left us. Purpose had not. Every step north felt like tightening a knot that could no longer be undone. By the time we reached Shiroyama, there were fewer than 500 of us left. Below us waited thousands. Artillery ringed the hill. Trenches carved the earth. We could hear them building our grave. There was no anger left among us, only clarity. We shared rice, sake, and silence, each man already speaking his goodbyes. When the guns began, the hill shook. Men fell without ever raising their swords. Still, when the order came, we charged. Not screaming, not pleading. Running forward into smoke, iron, and history. I do not remember fear. Only movement. Only resolve. Saigō was wounded. Some say he asked for death with dignity. Others say he died where he fell. It no longer matters. By sunrise, the samurai were no more. Japan lived on stronger, faster, colder. And something ancient slipped quietly into memory. They say we were foolish, that we fought the future. But the future remembers us, not for winning, but for standing when standing no longer made sense. I did not fight to stop time. I fought so that something human would survive it.